All right. I know what you're thinking. How is a guy standing in his living room here going to fix my slice? All right. I need a sim. He needs to be on the driving range, whatnot. I'm telling you, it's not about what you see. And you say, what do you mean it's not about what you see? Because look, you've been watching pros, you've been watching golf instructors, all of that for a long time, and you're here. You can't fix your slice. I was in the same boat. I'm a sports guy. I play basketball, football, the baseball, those kind of things, but I did not pick up golf until I was an adult, okay, just a few years ago. I got zero swing lessons, no professional training of any kind. It's just me and the range, all right? And I am the range's worst nightmare. 150 balls a session, probably working more bad habits than good habits. But look, there is a way to figure this slice things out. And like I said, you've been watching videos, you've been watching tutorials, and everything these guys say makes sense. Technicalities, the face angle, opening your hips, that swing path, all of those things. And yet when you go to implement them, you're still slicing it, okay? And I understand that frustration. It was not until I hurt my back a year ago. I had a herniated disc, and that's when my golf swing was fixed. And like I said, it took a back injury for me to figure this out. Now, I want to explain to you why none of the tips that you've heard from these instructors and these pros have worked for you. Well, why you've not been able to implement it into your game. So the most common fix for a slice is swing out to right field, okay? Right, you've heard the swing out to right field, and you'll get that thing to not slice, okay? Maybe you've heard there's a viral video of an instructor with a guy, and he's like, your problem with your driver is you're swinging down on the ball, and that makes it do this. All you got to do is swing up, and the guy swings up, and he hits a draw probably for the first time in his life, okay? You go out on the range, and you try that. Maybe it works for a hit or two, but as soon as you start to try to swing harder, it's gone. You're slicing it again. Another common one is your grip, right? They're saying, hey, your grip is too weak. You need to make it stronger. Your face isn't closed at impact. Different things like that. All of these tips are very good if you have the right thought established in the first place. And so why it hasn't worked for you is because you don't know how to swing the club hard. You say, what do you mean? Of course I can swing that club hard. I'm an athlete. I'm strong. And that's one thing that frustrates me. I hear, how do the pros look so effortless, right? Even if they don't have a ton of width, how are they able to generate that much power through the ball? And I was told, man, those tour players, they're just another level of strong. They're so strong. And I'm like, well, I'm strong. I'm an athlete. I may be fat, but I could play some sports. I can get down with it. But it's not a matter of you being weak. It's not a matter of you're not strong enough. You just don't know how to swing hard correctly, okay? And that's why all of these implementations, these swing fixes, your path, you think about that path and you think about swinging up on the ball, not down. As soon as you go to hit it hard, all of a sudden all this stuff goes out the window. As soon as you swing it hard, you slice it, and that just tells you that fundamentally something is wrong with your swing. You just haven't figured it out yet. Well, that's what I'm hoping to share with you today. Now, I had a big jump after my back injury. And what I learned is to not use my back to generate power, but my legs and my hips, okay? Now, obviously you've probably heard someone say that, but it doesn't make sense. Think about why none of these implementations work for you, all right? So you're here and you get to your backswing, right? And wherever that is for you, everyone looks a little bit different. You can see some of my swings in the YouTube shorts. I don't have the greatest takeaway right now, and I'm going to clean that up. But when you try to swing hard, most people, 9 times out of 10, that struggle with slices, and I'm not talking like they can fade it in their shot shape and they play a power fade or they're trying to hit a cut. I'm talking about slicing, okay? And you know if you're a slicer or not. Is when they try to hit hard, all the power, all of the effort is upper body, okay? You are using your upper body, not your lower body. And that's why, like, if you're singing soft and it's like, well, just simply swing up. And you swing up and it's like, oh, there's a little draw, but it only went 180. Let me try to swing harder. And it doesn't matter how hard you try to swing up. If all your power, if all of your energy and all of your strength is in your shoulders, in your arms, in your chest, and you're like, you can't hit up. You can't get that. You are still coming over the top. All right. And it doesn't matter how far you put that ball away in your stance. It doesn't matter how close you get. If your energy, if your power comes from your upper body through the downswing, you will hit a slice every time. So what's the fix? How do we fix this? How do we establish what the fix is? It is so simple, okay? If you watch someone pitch a baseball, if you watch someone throw a football, you will understand that the upper body does have a major role. It is the last thing to touch the ball that you're throwing. But the power, this strength, the ability to throw a 50-yard pass, 60-yard pass, 70-yard pass, or to throw an 80, 90, 100 mile per hour fastball is not just the arms. Try to throw it as hard as you can with just your upper body. It's not going to go far, and the accuracy is going to dwindle dramatically. What does a pitcher do? 80% of his throw is in that lower body, okay? And it's through here, and you can feel this hip. It pulls away, and this arm is long for the right, and it comes through, and at the last second, the arm finishes it. But if he did not load up, got my glove in my pocket, if he did not load up here, he loads on this trail foot, right? And comes through, and this is nice and wide, and that hip moves away. And what it's doing is it's pulling, it's lever actions that are catapulting that upper body to now finally be engaged, and he throws. That's where power comes from. The hips and the legs, your largest muscle groups, produce the most power, okay? Now in the swing, you're like, okay, well, I can see that, but how does that apply to my swing? Our problem is we aren't sequenced correctly. Yes, you have to be strong up here. You do have to be strong in your arms. You do have to be strong in your shoulders, but that isn't what's firing at the ball first, okay? So what I would say you need to work on is to work on opening. I guess I'm gonna face towards you. You need to work on opening the hip. And maybe you do this. That's great. That's a good start. You can't open this hip, you're gonna get no power. If you can't get back here, open it. I mean, think about that pitcher, right? He comes on this trick, he loads this way first, right? No balance. Told you I was athletic. Maybe I'm not. Load, okay? Load. And then this hip has to clear. And now you hear that, but it's not just twisting. No, you are pulling this club along, and this is leading, okay? You think about throwing a bag of rice or a bag of salt. If you have a pickup truck, and that bag of salt needs to go into the back of the bed, and you don't have the tailgate now, maybe you do, 50 pounds, okay? First thing you would do is you would end up standing right here, and you would get some momentum this way, right? You would load, and then think about that hip thrust you would do this way, and then everything follows. You use that momentum to catapult, and then your arm. You still have to be strong up here. There's no way a weak person in the arms and in the upper body is going to be able to get that salt bag to go up, but you have a better chance. You can just use your arms, and that's tougher. But if you use momentum right, and that it's the last thing to come through the ball, okay? I'm telling you, I'm trying to put this in layman terms so that it's easy to understand. When you're coming to the back, you load on this, okay? When you come through, you've got to feel power. Like like you're pulling. You are pulling the shoulders and arms through, and the arms and shoulders come through at the last. You're pulling. See that, like, the tendency is for this part of my body to kind of stay there as it comes through. And that's why you see these players, like, their head kind of stays behind the ball, or they might Tommy Fleetwood, where he kind of jerks it, but the hip is coming through, and then this, right? This comes through. Our problem is, no matter how hard we're trying, you are doing this because you're trying to be strong up here. As soon as you try to hit hard, you're using your upper body first, and your legs are kind of following. If you use your legs to pull that club through, I'm telling you, your golf game will change overnight. This was the breakthrough I had. I hurt my back because I was starting to hit the ball a little straighter, hitting a little fade, and I'm like, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to swing harder. Wham! herniated disc. And I'm like, this can't be it. Like, this is not, I mean, I'm telling you, it laid me up for about 6 weeks where I couldn't play golf. When I came back, I was wearing a back brace, putting ice packs in it on the range. And I'm like, well, how do I hit the ball without twisting so hard? Started opening. And then I started using, you hear people talk about using ground force, using all of that. It's because the hips are, ugh. You think about a hockey shot, right? It's, if you just did this, you wouldn't be as strong as let the hips lead through and boom, and then you have power. That's where power comes from. There you can control swing path, because if you're so strong here, you can't control swing path consciously. There's too much firing at the same time. But if your hips and your legs are firing first, you can, they're just along for the ride and you're just guiding it almost. And boom, then there's power there. And I'm telling you, there's all kinds of other things we need to talk about. But if you can get that swing thought, feel it, feel it. How would you drive that right shoulder at the ball harder? If your thing is like that, like that's all upper body. But if it's like those hips and then it comes through, I'm telling you, change your life in golf. I didn't use a lot of technical terms. I'm trying to describe it to you the way I learned it and the way it kind of lit off a light bulb in my head. Hit that like button. Let me share it with someone who needs it. Let me know if this works for you down in the comments. I'm telling you, it's a swing thought. Use it at the range. It will change your game. I'm going to talk about how to compress your irons, how to hit the ball farther, all of those things. But in order to fix the slice, you have to get this core thing through your head, and it'll change the game forever. All right. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Chris. Let me know if this works for you. I'll catch you in the next video.